My name is Jared, and I have Asperger Syndrome along with ADHD and a Mood Disorder NOS. It's been both a curse and a blessing for me. The downside of Asperger Syndrome is I look away from everything, number one. Number two, I'm unable to have two-way conversations, as I oftentimes get distracted just like I was while listening. And am unable to focus on the topic. Sometimes I'll only remember the first few words in the conversation and can't wait to share it. I'll usually interrupt, which makes people want to avoid conversations with me, as it becomes one-sided. I also have issues with over-talking and reading people's social cues. Take, for instance, they want to end the conversation, but I'll continue to talk. When they walk away, I'll usually follow and continue talking. This often causes me to lose friends or gain potential new friends. When I went to school, I had great difficulty in processing information, taking cues and redirection from my teachers, remaining organized, prioritizing my homework, keeping track of my assignments, turning them in, and being focused on what was being taught. A social worker worked with me from 5th grade until the day I graduated. We worked on social skills, organizing, and prioritizing. She and I role-played a lot, as it was, and still is, hard for me to read people. Their behavior cues, body language, and such. I struggled throughout school because I was so fixated on what not to say in social situations so that I would not be bullied by my peers and my teachers. In fact, early on in junior high, my teacher began to tease me, and the class began making fun of me too. I was so upset I became impulsive and ran to the highway to kill myself. Some people talked me out of it, but I still had many days where I felt I didn't belong. I did not want to stand out. Up until 11th grade, I was teased, beaten up, choked, called names, and forced to be in classes with this one bully. Each school day, he'd take away things so that I could not complete my assignments, and make fun of me for what I thought was no good reason. Even though I was beaten up, the principal in school refused to do anything. When reported to the police chief, he got the school's statements first, where they said I was a chronic complainer, resulting in the police to ignore my claims. The police chief interrogated me, called me a whiner, saying I was probably the victim, that I complained too much. And in the end, he told me I needed to deal with it, as everyone is bullied. He didn't take care of the situation, which was what everyone used to say, I'll take care of it, but eventually I didn't go into class at it very often, and instead sat in the principal's office using their phone to call my mom and have her pick me up from school. In my 11th grade and 12th grade year, things started to get a little better. I was bullied less. However, my grades got worse. I remained stuck on learning socialization skills, and my academics suffered because of it. I barely passed a few of my classes and nearly didn't graduate high school. My mom and stepfather helped me throughout my schooling, and I was and am very high functioning, and am capable of doing the homework. But I consistently failed to turn it in or focus on what the teacher was teaching. There was too much outside stimuli. This made it difficult to take tests and quizzes. I had an IEP, also known as an individualized education plan, which helps people who are in need of specialized services set goals so that they can learn academically and socially. One of my goals was to write my assignments down in an agenda. I had problems doing this because no one else was told to do this, and I didn't want to stand out and be made fun of again. I took a daily living skills class while in high school, as it helped me to learn budgeting, fill out apartment and job applications, and cook. I also took mainstream classes so that I could be in a typical classroom with others. Sometimes I am very gullible I, in the past, I was a lot more than I am now, but I still am gullible. I really don't think about safety, and I'm usually impulsive. I know no strangers and talk to mostly everyone. I reveal personal information to people within a crowd at a concert I attend without thinking of potential harm that it could cause to my family and I. I have picking problems when I am anxious or bored. I have issues where it's difficult for me to make eye contact. Many consider it rude, but it's normal to those with Asperger's. I'm very hypersensitive and do not like being touched. Sometimes I fly off the handle when people do this, even the people I know and love. Certain textures, even the feeling of different clothing, such as socks, can agitate and annoy me. I become obsessed with having things just so. These are things I'm aware of, but I'm working on. I'm like many, and there are many like me. We just see things and feel things on a different level. This doesn't define who I am. It's part of me, but I'm not everything. I used to obsess over video games, wasn't able to talk about anything else. Now that I'm older, I'm aware of what people want to hear in an everyday two-way conversation and try to talk about gaming when appropriate. In other words, when playing video games with my friends. I love video games, computers, and my cell phone. I also love other media items. I often get sidetracked and can't get focused on chores or anything else, even though I need to know I need to complete them. When trying to find a job, it's difficult for me to tear away myself away from the gaming. The majority of my friends, especially now that I graduated from high school, are on Xbox Live and Steam. I rarely leave the house as there's not much else to do where I live. And I really enjoy playing with my friends on Xbox Live and Steam. Steam is on my computer. I'm very passionate about animals, especially cats. I have 2 cats now, Hendrix and Lotus. I used to have another cat who was named Clara, and I was raised with her, but she died in 2006. I miss her. She was a good kitty cat. I get easily attached to objects and materialistic things. My games, my computer, my TV, certain clothing, and phone. I have objects of my great-grandmother's, which mean a lot to me because I was really close to her. As far as relationship goes, I like girls, but more interested in video games. But I like the status of having a girlfriend. I'm not interested really much into relationships. My mom and stepdad talked me into going to prom, but they really forced me. And when a friend went with me, I was worried if I was going to be picked on for going with her. She was too outgoing and too overwhelming, and just a tad bit annoying. When I went to the dance, I saw girls dancing very, very, very inappropriately with other guys, and decided that their behaving was too unclassy for my style. I'm old-fashioned. When I began dating, I wanted to be with someone who is classy and respectful. When I was dancing, I started to break dance, which is something I enjoyed doing. And I used to watch on a TV show called America's Best Dance Crew, and I learned some moves from there, like the windmill and some other stuff, but can still not do the windmill because I don't want to break my neck, or do a front flip and break my neck, and wanted to show them off a bit, just a bit. I'm a bit of a showboat. Pretty soon people were laughing, but I thought I was doing great. This made me feel bad, and embarrassed, and humiliated. I wanted to leave. When my friend and I went to post-prom, where there was gambling, swimming, rock climbing, laser tag, they had a rodeo bull, like a mechanical one, not an actual bull. I think that they'd pretty much sue PBL in my school if that was the case. But I played a game of Texas Hold'em, and the rest of the time I played basketball. I ate some pepperoni pizza and some Buffalo Wild Wings, which was buffalo flavored. My grandmother and I enjoy playing card games. That's why I played Texas Hold'em there. I like hockey and I like basketball. I'm not too interested in watching sports as I am playing them. And I was pretty good at Special Olympics. I made a couple half-court shots. I mean, like in the beginning of the game. My mother and father divorced in 2000 when I was 4 years old. For a long time, it was just me and my mom. My mom was and has been my best mom, not the best friend, whoever wrote this. And she advocates for me in all that I do. She's an awesome mommy. And to her I am her best son. And her only son, mind you. In 2010, my mom met my stepdad, her boyfriend, but I call him my stepdad. He's been here since. He and I play video games together and hang out. He's 31 now. If I was still 13, he'd be 13 backwards. And he and I are more alike and have more in common than my actual father and I. The upside to having Asperger Syndrome is that I'm sociable, kind, loving, giving, and happy, enjoy life, and would be a great best friend to someone. I'm creative and imaginative. I love drawing, especially video game characters, sometimes when I can actually draw them. I have a million ideas for inventions and other things. I can cite a lot of facts and historical events more than the average person. One that I know the best is Pearl Harbor, the day that will forever live in infamy, which happened on December 7, 1941 at 7:48 a.m. Focusing on details is a positive. I enjoy everything that typical young adults do. However, I'm a bit behind maturity. I don't play with action figures or anything, but I like to role play. I have a lot of swords and actual knives and stuff and weapons. My bad. And collectibles. I have a lot of video games. I'm not going to say how many because people would come to my house and break in. And it is true. I do have a lot. Which I plan to go to college soon for video game design, but right now I'm learning time management and other daily living skills along with budgeting. My mother is attempting to get me signed up for help at the ARC in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. This will help me with these goals and prepare me for job coaching situations where I can learn additional skills towards future employment, organizational and prioritization skills, and socialization and skills within the workplace and time management. Job coaching means one-on-one, like work basically. Like I'm working with the boss instead of them sitting in a comfy desk in an office while I'm sitting there working by myself, or whoever my manager is. I take medicine for my problems, like my diagnosis and prognoses and stuff. And I take them primarily for focus, impulsivity, and processing, and insomnia. I have other health issues, but I'm being treated for them. And medication is only one third of the treatment needed to overcome these overwhelming and debilitating symptoms. Therapy is another 1/3, and ultimately the final 1/3 is you YouTubers and other peoples out there. You must follow treatment goals that are set up. Look for outside resources, a solid support group, and something else to structure yourself to make yourself be a better person and help other people and educate yourself. If you do have Asperger's, try educating yourself. Try learning more about it if you don't know much about it. And it doesn't mean you have to write a whole 1,000-page research paper on it, but that's okay. And if you get the chance, if you can go out and educate other people, or if you're still in school, educate your school about it. Police departments, because that police chief I was talking about earlier didn't even know what Asperger's was or autism or anything. He was completely unaware of what it was. And awareness is a must.
So what do you plan to do with yourself now?
I already said that. Video game design.
Yeah?
And to find a job and do everything a normal person would do.
Yeah?
I'm trying to fit into society.
Right. But why fit in when you were born to stand out?
Because it's like, it's like Wally and Beaver, if any of you know that TV show. You don't always have to try to fit in. There's always ways you can stand out. But it's hard to do. I don't really know how to say that. So unfortunately, that's all I got.
So what are some of your likes on the internet?
Like what? What do you
Some
mean?
of your games and some of your designs and your modding and all that, or?
Well, I have friends who are modders, so I like their mods a lot. But you guys have fun, and good luck with your future endeavors.
And if they have any questions, they can ask you?
Yes, anybody can ask me if they have any questions.
And maybe we can help find resources for them too.
Oh yeah, well, you don't have to find them yourself. You can help. We can help.
Yes. Okay.
Toodles.